Jay here. Welcome to Beginning Drums Chapter 3. Okay, we're going to start off with rhythms and rudiments, so let's go ahead and look at number 1. We're going to start off with bar 1 is going to be all 4 quarter notes. That's going to be one note on each beat. For bar 2, we'll have a half note rest to start us off, so that's nothing for beats 1 and 2, and then we'll have quarter notes on beats 3 and 4. Bar 3 has a quarter note rest, that's the squiggle on beat 1, with quarter notes on beats 2, 3, and 4, and then bar 4 has all 4 quarter notes. Here's number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest, rest. 3, 4. Rest. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'll just be doing these each one time, but I recommend, of course, repeat each of these 4 to 8 times and try your slow, medium, and fast tempos. Okay, here comes number 2. We're going to start off with a whole note rest, so that's nothing for 4 beats on bar 1. On bar 2, we have quarter notes on beats 1 and 2, a quarter note rest on beat 3, and a quarter note on beat 4. Bar 3 has quarter notes on beats 1 and 2 with a half note rest for beats 3 and 4, and then bar 4 is all 4 quarter notes. Here comes number 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, rest, 4. 1, 2, rest, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's take a look at number 3. For number 3, we're going to start off with 2 quarter notes on beats 1 and 2 with a half note rest for beats 3 and 4. On bar 2, we have quarter notes on beats 1, 2, and 3 with a quarter note rest on beat 4. Bar 3 is all 4 quarter notes, and then bar 4 is a whole note rest where we won't play anything for 4 beats. Here comes number 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, rest, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's take a look at number 4. For number 4, we're going to start off with a quarter note on beat 1, a quarter note rest on beat 2, and then quarter notes on beats 3 and 4. Bar 2 has quarter notes on beats 1 and 2 with a half note rest on beats 3 and 4. Bar 3 is all 4 quarter notes, and then bar 4, we're going to have a half note rest for beats 1 and 2, a quarter note rest on beat 3, and then a quarter note on beat 4. So we have to wait all the way till beat 4 to play something for that 4th bar. Okay, here comes number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, rest, 3, 4. 1, 2, rest, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's take it to number 5. We're going to start off with a half note rest on bar 1, and we'll play quarter notes on beats 3 and 4. Bar 2 has quarter notes on beats 1 and 2 with a half note rest for beat 3 and 4. Bar 3 has quarter notes on beats 1, 2, and 3 with a quarter note rest on beat 4. And then bar 4 has quarter notes on beats 1 and 2 and a quarter note rest on beat 3 with a quarter note on beat 4. Here comes number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest, rest. 3, 4. 1, 2, rest, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, rest. Okay, let's take it to number 6. For number 6, we're going to start off with a quarter note on beat 1, a quarter note rest on beat 2, with quarter notes on beat 3 and 4. On bar 2, we have all 4 quarter notes. Bar 3 is a whole note rest. On bar 4, we'll have a quarter note rest on beat 1, a quarter note on beat 2, a quarter note rest on beat 3, and a quarter note on beat 4. Here comes number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, rest, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, rest, 4. Okay, let's take it to number 7. We're going to have all 4 quarter notes on bar 1. On bar 2, we have a half note rest for beats 1 and 2 with a quarter note on beat 3 and a quarter note rest on beat 4. Bar 3 has all 4 quarter notes, and then bar 4 has a quarter note on beat 1 with a quarter note rest on beat 2 and then a half note rest for beats 3 and 4. So just one note for that last bar right there. Okay, here comes number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, rest, 3, 4. Okay, let's go on to the last one, number 8. We're going to start off with 4 quarter notes on bar 1. We'll have a whole note rest for bar 2. On bar 3, we start off with a half note rest for beats 1 and 2, and then we'll have quarter notes on beats 3 and 4. And then on bar 4, we'll have quarter notes on beats 1, 2, and 3 with a quarter note rest on beat 4. Here comes number 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, rest. All right. The rudiment for this week is going to be the buzz roll, also called a press roll. And it's a fun technique. It's not the easiest, but we'll do it. We'll learn how to do it little by little. Okay? So when you see a note that has a stem sticking straight up and a Z through it, that's the buzz roll right there. And it sounds like this. Okay, let's go ahead and learn how to do it. Now with the buzz roll, instead of hitting my snare and just bouncing off, I wanna get to a buzz. Okay, now there's a technique to get there, and let's talk about it before we start jumping in our rhythms. Okay, now, first of all, instead of having all of my support fingers, I'm just gonna have my fulcrum, just my thumb and my index. Okay, now I'm just gonna see if I can get the stick to bounce like this. Just gonna drop it. Okay, now, as it's starting to fizzle out, if I put a little bit of pressure, I'm just going to kind of squeeze my stick. It's going to make that little buzz at the very end. So that little zzz, that's a buzz right there. So a good thing to do is to see if you can get a bounce. And then just put a little pressure and then just kind of press a little bit into the snare to kill it. And that's the buzz sound. Okay, now eventually we're going to start to sustain it. But first of all, let's just start to play some rudiments and we'll just do a buzz like this. So just as opposed to a normal hit, normal, buzz. Again, letting my fingers kind of relax off the side. And I'm putting that pressure to get that buzz sound. Okay, now for number 1, I'm going to just hit a normal right quarter note, 1, and then I'm going to buzz. So it would be like this. 1, 2, 1. I'll do a couple more. 1, 1. Okay, now here's with my left. Normal, buzz. Okay, so as long as you're getting a little buzz sound in there, that's okay. Let's move forward. Okay, let's go to number 2. Now I'm going to do a buzz with my right and then a normal with my left. And I'm going to recommend just repeat all these with the same sticking, and then you could stop and flip your sticks around. Let's really focus on getting our buzz going. So if I go buzz to normal with my right, it'll be a buzz right and then normal. Oops. And then I'll repeat that. Okay, now here's flipping the stick, starting with my left, buzzing, normal. Okay, let's take it to number 3. Now I'm going to do a right to a left, and both are going to buzz. Okay, here starting with my left, 3, 4. Let's go to number 4. Now I'm going to do 8th notes, and I'm going to do a right left, both buzzing to 2 normal right lefts. So it'll be like this. 1, 2, buzz, buzz, normal. Okay, here's the same thing starting with my left. go ahead and go to number 5. Now we're going to do 8 notes again. We're doing singles, right, left, and everything's buzzed. 1 and 2. And okay, here starting with my left. Okay, now if I start to bring my tempo up a little bit, we'll start getting to the actual buzz roll. Let's say if I do that same concept, and I'm just going to start to speed up a little bit. 1 and 2. So that's going to be the eventual goal. Okay, now we're going to take it to 16th notes, and hopefully it'll get really buzzy at this point. Okay, now if I do normal 16th notes, they would sound like this. 1 E and a 2 E and. Okay, now if I buzz them all, 1, okay, so there's basically, I'm buzzing at that point. Now you can also experiment with the outer edges of your snare. Just there's a different tension depending on where you're playing on your snare, so there's a pretty good bounce towards the outside. So if that helps a little bit, you can roam around as you're buzzing. You can also really kind of like lift up a little bit, and you're pressing into that snare. You might get a little bit more volume and strength that way, or just keep them low. Okay, now you can buzz anything. So it's also kind of nice. Try to just buzz your other drums, but the snare is definitely a popular one for the buzz roll. Now you can also build up your volume and shrink it back down. So there's all sorts of fun things once you get the basics down, and it's a keeper too. Definitely use this all the time, and it's a real popular sound, a great tool for the drummer. Okay, cheers. All right, welcome to Beats and Fills. We're going to learn a cool beat today. This is a real popular one. It's the boom, crack, boom, boom, crack. So far, we've learned our basic rock beats. We've learned some 4 on the floor last chapter. Okay, now we're going to start to open up with our bass drum and add some 8th notes to it. So we're going to do that today. We're going to have 8th notes on beat 3 for this particular beat. And let's talk about it. Okay, now we're going to start off with number 1. This is the quarter note version of this beat. So on beat 1, we're going to keep it real basic. It's just going to be bass drum and hi-hat for beat 1, and then snare and hi-hat for beat 2. Again, we'll always have our snare on 2 and 4 for all these beats, and that's our back beat, so we want to keep that real strong and steady. Okay, now beat 3, we're going to do 8th notes with our bass drum. So on the downbeat at 3, we'll hit a bass drum and hi-hat, and then we'll hit a bass drum all by itself on the and of the beat. You'll see that plus sign for the and then beat 4 is our normal snare back beat, so snare and hi-hat together. Okay, here it is super slow. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, for beat number 2, we're going to do the 8th note version of this beat. Our 8th notes sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, we're going to start off basic for the first 2 beats. So that's bass drum on the downbeat of 1. Here's my hi-hat on the and. Snare and hi-hat on the downbeat of 2. Here's my hi-hat on the and of 2. Okay, now on beat 3, we're just going to hit our bass drum with both the 8th notes like this. 3 and then beat 4 is basic. 4 with that hi-hat on the and of the beat. Here's beat number 2, super slow. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, for beat number 3, we're going to do the 16th note version of this beat. On beat 1, we're going to have basic concept for 16th notes, and the way we count those 16th notes, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Okay, so beat 1 will be a bass drum with your hi-hat on the downbeat of 1, and we'll do the E and all hi-hat. Beat 2 is basic, so it's snare and hi-hat on the downbeat, E and Now on beat 3, we're going to have that extra 8th note. So here's beat 3, super slow. It's going to go 3, E, and da. And just notice that and falls right in the middle of the beat, just like our 8th notes. So in 16th notes, we have an extra note on the E and the but we still have the downbeat and the and of the beat. And that's exactly where that bass drum is going to fall. So again, here's beat 3, 3, E, and da. And if I was counting 8th notes, it'd just be like this, 3, so it still is going to sound the same. We're just adding in those extra hi-hats. Beat 4 is basic, so it's going to have snare on the downbeat of 4, E, and here's beat number 3, 16th note style. 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. All right, let's do some fills. Okay, the way it works for our fills again is I'm going to give you a rhythm. We'll play it first on snare, then I'm going to orchestrate it or arrange it somewhere on the drum set for the second part, and then you'll make your own drum fill using that same rhythm and write it in on the staff using our drum key to notate it. And there'll be 4 of these examples. Okay, for number 1, we're going to have a quarter note on beat 1 and 3 with a quarter note rest on beat 2 and 4. We won't play anything for those beats 2 and 4. Okay, the way I put it on the drum set, I'm going to do a quarter note flam on beat 1 on the snare. We'll have that quarter note rest on beat 2. And then a bass drum and a crash on beat 3, combination. And then beat 4 is another quarter note rest. Okay, now is for you to make up your own drum fill. So there's basically two quarter notes in this bar on beat 1 and 3. I put a flam on my snare and I did a bass drum and a crash. Let's say if you want to do a combination, floor tom and snare for beat 1. All you would do is just write a floor tom and a snare together and connect it with a flag, make them into a quarter note. You could have your own combination. And then let's say on beat 3, if you wanted to do tom 2, you would just put a quarter note on that second to top line and that's your tom 2. And then automatically you made your own drum fill. Okay, for fill number 2, we're going to have a snare on beat 2 and 4 with a quarter note rest on beat 1 and 3. Okay, the way I orchestrated this fill, we're gonna have the quarter note rest on beat 1. I put a quarter note on the floor tom on beat 2. There's a quarter note rest on beat 3, and then I put a flam quarter note on tom 1 for beat 4. For beat 3, we're gonna have snare on beat 1 and 4 with quarter note rest on beats 2 and 3. Okay, the way I arranged this fill, I put a flam on tom 2 for beat 1. There's those 2 quarter note rests for beats 2 and 3. And then I put a snare and crash combination on beat 4. Snare and crash is another cool way to do a combination. Sounds really good, it's powerful too. So bass drum and crash, snare and crash. There's a couple ways to add to your crashing. Okay, for fill number 4, it's going to be real sparse. I just put a quarter note on beat 3, and we have a half note rest for beats 1 and 2, and a quarter note rest on beat 4. Okay, the way I arranged fill number 4, we're going to have that half note rest for the first 2 beats, and then I did a floor tom and tom 1 combination. Don't forget, you could do combinations, no problem, have fun. You could even hear some little harmonies and chords as you play your toms. Sometimes we get some pretty cool sounds doing those combos. And there will be that quarter note rest on beat 4. Okay, now we're going to combine our beats and fills. The concept here is to do one of each of our beats from the chapter 4 times and then play a drum fill, a 1-bar drum fill. Now you can pick any drum fills you want. I'm going to always give you my examples of my orchestrated drum fills for the first 3 anyway. And for number 1, you're going to see the quarter note beat 4 times, and then I wrote you out that fill number 1 orchestrated for the drum set. Okay, now, always good at the end after our combinations is to also improvise or just jam your own drum fills. See if you can make something happen off the top of your head. I'm gonna jam on all the different beats and just let it flow a little bit. This is something I recommend every chapter for us to do. You'll get better at this too, so have some patience, but repeat any beat and then you can play your own drum fill and try to keep it a 1-bar drum fill. So we're counting at the same time, and that's real good music skills right there. Welcome to the study. Today we're going to talk about dynamics. Dynamics is the level of sound in music from quiet to loud. It's basically the volume. So if you're listening to some music or listening to your computer or your iPhone, whatever you're listening to, we just turn it up, right? Or turn it down. on drums, we need to control things with our sticks and our strength and our attack of how hard we hit things, and that'll affect our volume. So it's really important for us drummers to have the different dynamics of loud, medium, normal to quiet too. Very important, because as we play songs, it might call for certain volume restrictions, or it's going to really want us to push it too and be louder. So let's go ahead and learn the process of how to change our volume on the drum set. Okay, for number one, when you don't see any dynamic instructions, it just looks like a normal beat. It means you're just going to play just normal volume. Okay, for number two, you're going to see a P written underneath the staff right there, kind of right by beat one. A P stands for piano, and a soft or quiet volume is desired. So just simply play lighter, and that'll take care of that. So obviously, if you're going to wind up and hit really hard, it's going to be louder. If you're going to just hit it softer, it's going to be quieter. So just ease up a little bit. You don't have to be super quiet, because actually there is different levels of piano. There's a P, a double P, and a triple P. So for this one, just bring it down a little bit quieter, and that's the goal for this one. Okay, for number three, this is going to be the opposite of piano. This is forte. So if you see that F, it's a cursive F written underneath the staff. F stands for forte, and for this one, we want a hard or loud volume. So just hit them hard and have some fun. For all of these examples, I just gave us some basic rock beats. So nothing crazy technical, but the main thing is our volume. Okay, for number four, we're going to do a switch. We're going to start off normal volume for 4 bars of a basic quarter note beat, and then we're going to get quiet for the next 4 bars as we switch to piano. So just repeat the beat 4 times, normal volume, and then bring it down a little quieter for another 4 bars. Okay, for number 5, we're going to start off normal volume 8th note basic rock beat 4 times, and then we're going to get loud and go to forte for 4 bars of the same beat. Okay, for number 6, we're going to switch from a piano to a forte. So we're going to start off really quiet 4 times basic 16th note, and then we'll get loud for 4 times basic 16th note. Okay, let's talk about a crescendo. For number 7, crescendo means to get louder. So we're basically gonna expand our volume and get louder. Whenever you see that crescendo, you might see it abbreviated too, but that basically means to get louder. Okay, for number 8, we're going to do a opposite of a crescendo. It's called a diminuendo, and you'll also see that abbreviated, D-I-M, and this means to get quieter. So for this one, we're going to do some 8th notes on our snare, and we'll get quieter on bar 2. Okay, now another dynamic is you're going to see written an arrow or a hairpin, and that basically just means to get louder or to get quieter. It's going to kind of show you like a greater than, less than, but if it's expanding out, it means we're getting louder. If it's coming in, it means that we're getting quieter, and that is a crescendo and a diminuendo, but written with that certain hairpin looking arrow underneath the staff right there. So for this one, we're going to get louder about beat 3 and 4 on our, we're just playing 16th notes on our snare, and then we'll get quieter on the second bar around beats 3 and 4. Okay, for the last 2 numbers, I gave us an example to switch up some of our dynamics. Number 10, we're going to start off piano on our hi-hat, basic quarter note beat 4 times. We'll do a drum fill, and we'll get louder about beat 2 to 3 as we're going to do a crescendo, and we'll go into a forte beat on our ride, that same basic quarter note rock beat, but now it's going to be loud on the ride 4 times. Okay, for the last one, number 11, we're going to start off forte up on our crash with a basic 8th note beat 4 times. Okay, we're going to do a drum fill, and we're going to get quieter, and we're going to diminuendo about beat 2 and 3, and we'll go into a piano beat on the hi-hat, our basic 8th note beat, but piano style, quieter. All right, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you for chapter 4. Rock on.